I am Benji. I am a fantasy novelist, and in this video, we're going to be discussing what I think are the top 10 best Pokemon cards, using only cards from my collection. And before you ask, no, it is not Charizard. He is not on this list. I have ones that I like even more. Let's get into it. I used to have such a big Pokemon collection. I kind of am growing one again, but as a kid, I was obsessed with Pokemon. I went to, was not the popular kid in middle school. I was very much like, I was the Pokemon kid. And I had a couple friends who were into Pokemon, and we would play together. And anyways, went to my first Pokemon convention, and we practiced for this, and we get there, and we sit down, and we realize we had learned to play the game wrong. So our first Pokemon tournament was just us being taught how to play the game. It was okay. It was fun. I remember at the time, if you played 10 rounds, I believe, regardless of win or loss, they would give you a Pokemon card that was like a promo card. It was an Emporion. So got that. That was a great time. Eventually, I got to high school. I wanted to be cool, so buy Pokemon cards. C.S. Lewis has this quote that he says something along the lines of growing up means putting away childish things, like the fear of being seen as childish and the desire to be very grown up. And so, that as I've grown, as I've met my wife and she's just received me as I am, I'm like, you know what? Part of me is I like Pokemon. That's something I like. So today I'm going to be walking you guys through some of my favorite Pokemon cards that I have from my list. Some of them are old, but most of them are within the last 10 years or so. And so we'll dive into it, starting with Dragon type. My top pick for my Dragon type cards. I only have 9 Dragon type cards. They're harder to come by, but I chose Dragonite EX. He's a Terra type, which is pretty cool. I would agree with the notion that the Terra types are less like terrestrialized Pokemon and more like Pokemon with a ring pop on top of their head. But they're kind of like the Shein version of what we were promised, but they're still fun. I really enjoyed Scarlet Violet. I thought those were great games and still play those. So follow-ups were I had a Fracture and a Baggin that I was considering. At number 9, I chose Steel type. This is my Steel type pick. Hops Zacian. I really like the art on this card is really what it comes down to. I don't have too much of a personal connection with either this Pokemon or with Hop, but I thought the art was beautiful. Runner-ups were Scizor, who I love a good Scizor, and Shieldon. I like both of those Pokemon quite a bit. Okay, going into fighting type at number 8, I have a Blastoise that is a Delta species, and that's why he makes it into this section. Blastoise is usually water type, we know this, but he is my pick here for fighting type. By the way, I'm not choosing these based off of competition metrics. I'm not choosing these based off of who's helped me win the most battles, because I'm not really doing that anymore. It comes down to do I like the art? Do I like the story within them? I think about the stories a lot as I look at these cards. What is going on here? Not just oh, is that my Pokemon, but is what's going on here? Does it tell a story? As well as any cool surprises, and there's some nostalgia. Let's own that. Now, if you don't know, psychics, ghosts, and fairies can sometimes share the same type in the card game. There's only 10 types in the Pokemon card game, and so you're going to see some things like bug types and grass types are both grass types in this in the card game. That's okay. But number 7 pick, I have Team Rocket's Mewtwo. This is my psychic pick here. I love this scene. When I saw this card, when I got this card, I was like, whoa. I don't go out of my way to buy expensive cards or anything like that. I just, when I find packs, I buy them. And in my town, there's none anywhere. So it's only when I'm out of town that I really get to buy a Pokemon pack of cards, or if someone brings them to me, then I get to do that. But this one showed up and I was like, wow, that's a good time. Follow-ups were Nidorino, because he's just kind of he's got some old sentiment to him. I just like the way he is designed. And Screamtail. She's cute. She's fun. She reminds me of the old Pokemon, right? She's a Kanto-based Pokemon, even though she's not. And yeah, I enjoy her. Number 6, we're going into our dark types, is Team Rocket's Nidoqueen. When the first Pokemon game I ever played was Fire Red, and I wanted actually to get a Nidoking, but Nidoran and Nidoran, there's 2 different Pokemon species marked distinctly by their gender types. I did not know what the gender symbols were as, I don't know, a 4-year-old, 5-year-old. I don't know what age I was, but I just picked one and was like, let's try the blue one. I don't know why I thought that would get me to the purple one, but it got me to Nidoqueen, and I actually ended up loving the Pokemon. Like, I thought it was so much fun. She's still, uh, you know, one of my favorites because of it. And so Team Rocket's Nidoqueen definitely deserves a spot up there. I also love the nostalgia of the Team Rockets cards. I'm so glad they brought those back. As a kid, it was so fun to see those cards, and it's one of the things I've missed. Is like, oh man, I wish I had those cards still. So it's been fun to see like Team Rocket's Nidoqueen, Team Rocket's Mewtwo, and my follow up on this is Team Rocket's Weezing and Sableye. I think Sableye is. I know we have Impidimp, but like Sableye is a true Goblin Pokemon. Like just hoarding all of these gems and wandering around in dark caves. Absolutely. Number 5 is Kecleon. He's my normal type pick, and Kecleon, what I like about this card specifically, I don't know that Kecleon would make it onto most of my teams that, in different situations, but what I like about this card is that he is every type. That's a huge advantage in the game, in my opinion, and it's fun. It adds to the story. It creates some depth to this card. So I really enjoy that. And my follow-up picks for those were Snorlax, because gotta love a good Snorlax blocking the path, and Holland's Cast Form because it doubles as energy. Moving into electric type Pokemon. My top pick is the Alolan Golem. I love, obviously, there's this Kanto throwback with Golem. The Alolan type gets to add an electricity, which is really cool and fun. Add some mix to it. And they gave him a mustache. Batting 1,000, am I right? And then the follow-ups, the kind of runner-ups were Fat Pikachu. I miss my crunchy Pokemon. I love that Nidoking and Queen, Kangaskhan, those kinds of Pokemon have stayed somewhat like crunchy. I feel like a lot of the other ones, like Charizard's no longer crunchy. He's like narrow, but like Venusaur's still crunchy. This is my Venusaur. I don't know if you can see him. Pikachu V is my other runner-up for electric types because my brother gave it to me. It was a sweet gift, and I enjoy that kind of thing. Going into grass types, I think this is going to surprise you a little bit. My all-time, I think I would say my favorite Pokemon is Bulbasaur. I really enjoy that dude. He was the first Pokemon I ever picked. Again, going back to Fire Red, and we've been homies ever since. But I'm choosing Spinarak. I'm choosing this because of the card. Now let me pitch this to you. You're like, oh, okay, you chose a spider. What's going on? When this series came out, you could find hidden Dittos, and the way you would know, it'd be exactly the Pokemon card it says it is, except for in the bottom left-hand corner, there would be a little Ditto symbol. And if you chose to try and peel the card, the top of the card would actually peel off, and it would reveal a Ditto underneath. I really like this card as a Spinarak Ditto. Like, Ditto's cool because of what Ditto can turn into, and I was like, if I peel this, then he's Ditto, not the things Ditto can do. And he's still Ditto now, but now he's Ditto and Spinarak. That's really cool. And so I really enjoy this card for that reason. I like the little hidden story in there, and that this is not what it seems to be. Okay, and then my follow-ups are Workout Weedle. I chose this one because I like the art and the story. He's doing crunches in the tree. Heracross is doing crunches on the ground. That's amazing. And Bulbasaur because he's Bulbasaur. I would love to get one of those full art cards of Bulbasaur. Going into water types, I chose Wartortle as my top pick. This was very much a nostalgia pick. I'll own that. I like Wartortle a lot. He's a fun Pokemon, in my opinion. Squirtle and Blastoise are amazing Pokemon, of course. There's an episode in the early series where they meet. Ash meets a firefighting team of Wartortles, and the firefighting chief of the Wartortles kind of makes the assertion that Wartortle is the best of both of the Pokemon because he's got the strength somewhat of Blastoise and the speed somewhat of Squirtle. And I really resonated with that as a kid. I was like, well, then, yeah, he's the best. Absolutely. And so, yes, I like a good Wartortle. I also chose Dondanzo. Was surprised to put him up there, but this card is just so beautiful that how could I not? The artwork here is really what does this one in for me. As well as Amistar. It's a pretty card. They did a good job with it. And then finally, our fire types. My top pick is Charmander, not Charizard. This Charmander card is so cute. The story that comes with this card, like just staring at this, he feels like a house pet, you know, staring out the window, looking at the other Pokemon, wanting to get out to them. Really, really cute, really fun. Whoever did this, hats off to you. Very impressive. My runner-ups were Team Rocket's Houndoom and Armarouge EX. Those are my two second and third picks for fire types. These are my top 10 picks for Pokemon cards. They're the favorite ones that I have. And because they're my favorite ones that I have, they're my favorite ones in general. You could show me one that you have, and I'd be like, that's really cool. If I owned it, it'd be in my top 10. But I don't own it, so it's not in my top 10. These are my top 10 Pokemon cards. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy Pokemon, that's great. You're welcome to be here with us. But I do a whole bunch of things surrounding fantasy stories and worlds, including building my own fantasy graphic novel. That is the mission of 2026. I have fantasy novels I have published in the past, but I've never done a graphic novel. And so this is the year that we make it happen. I will catch you guys in the next one.